Okay, I'm back after much more than just a few seconds. So my apologies there. If I remember where we're at, it's these guys are activating. I really don't think they're going to do much, but they're definitely moving. So let's figure out where they're going to move and how. So by doing the 14-step program there. Okay, first things first. Their objective. Well, their objective is still. Oh, you know what? I've not had their objective out. We got to roll a die. I've never done the 7th Army's objective. I should have done this on December 16th when these guys activated. So my apologies there. I'm rolling a die here. I rolled a 1. So this is for the 7th Army. So it's going to be Edelbrook South. So Edelbrook, where is, oh, okay, so they're going for this. So this is their objective, and that makes sense. So we will do Edelbrook. And we happen to have our tank there defending. Okay, that's going to help dictate where these guys move. And I don't think it really mattered last time, but it'll definitely matter this time. Okay, they're not going to be able to exit the map or move adjacent to the Muse. They're not going to be able to go into an empty Allied VP. Move to hex closer to unit's Army objective and adjacent to Allied VP. That they can do. Now, they do have an objective that if they're going to move adjacent, they're going to preferably cross the river. So for example, this guy here wants to move along his big arrow to here, but this objective, he's going to cross the river is what I'm trying to get at. So he's going to cross the river to get next to this objective. Now these guys, you can see here, this one can move 3 spaces. So he can move 1, and then 2, and then 3, like so, to get there. And because he's bracketed and he's in a town, he can exert a zone of control. Same with this guy, 1, 2, 3. So we got 2 units with 3 pips, and then we have a tank unit here that can move 5. And we have this guy can move 3. So he would move 1, 2, and then 3, because that's the only way that gets him adjacent within the movement of 3. This one can move 5, so you can go 1, 2, and we would like to get across the river there, but we can't. So I could go 3 there, or I can go 3, 4 to there. I don't know which one. I'm going to follow the arrows for a lack of a better place to go. So we do have this tank unit surrounded, and you know, something magical might happen because of it. Let's find out. Okay, so we have to determine whether or not they're going to attack. All right, so it says that we need to calculate situational strength. So here you can see it's 2 plus 3 is 5, 6, 7, and 4 is 11, and 3 is 14 to 4. So that's 3 to 1, okay? However, the ones that are attacking across the river have to be cut in half. So 2, 5, 7, 11 divided by 2 is what? It's 5.5. Plus 3 is 8.5 to 4. So that's only 2 to 1. You see how that changed? So that's only 2 to 1. And they're not in a forest or an improved position. So there's no changes to that. It's just 2 to 1. Now with a 2 to 1, they are going to roll a die to see if they're going to attack with 2 to 1 odds. And here you can see I rolled a 0, which is the lowest possible roll. Remember we were just talking about it with that table. They're going to proceed with the attack, and it does not cancel. That's crazy. But that's what it's going to do. So they're going forward with the attack. So now we have to, we do have artillery, right? So that's going to be added to it. And then we're going to draw a card for the Germans. and they're going to have infantry infiltration, so that's added to it. The infantry infiltration doesn't do anything because since they're in a town, they can't be flanked. However, it still counts as a +1 for chit draws. So for chit draws, they're going to draw 1, 2, 3, and then 4 because there's 3 pips on this guy, and then one more is 5. All right, so that's 5 plus the 2 tacticals for 6 and 7. So they're going to draw 7, and off we go. And remember, they have artillery, so let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's actually 6, and then one more is 7. Okay, so this is the little, thing that I throw it in whenever it's empty. Okay, so is the attacker green or elite? Well, there is a green, and unfortunately, that is going to hurt him. So let me move the camera back, or let's do it that way. So attacker takes a hit. It is neither of these. The defender is not green. The defender is not elite, so that's out. There is no defender adjacent, and there's no dispersed or unsupplied. Sorry about that. Less than 2 to 1. That is not the case. They're at least 2 to 1, but it's not greater than 3 to 1, so that's out. Is it a large attack? Yes, we drew 7. However, the other side applies. Nope. Oh, and I wasn't going to play a card. I had an opportunity to play a card. Does the attacker have combined arms? They do. What's the other side say? The defender has combined arms. See there? The defender has an infantry symbol right here, where my thumb is pointing. Right there. So armor is on the left side, infantry is on the right side. So it says that only the attacker has combined arms, and that's not true. So that's out. Okay, so they do 1 hit on us, but we're in a town, so we cancel that hit. And there's 1 hit on him. So the fact that we rolled low actually helped us because they did a foolhardy attack. So then the stack that has the most units is this one, and then it's going to be whoever has the highest number. So this is an 8, a 6, and a 33. The 33 would actually get destroyed or eliminated. Let me make sure I understand that. This is the wrong chart. Okay. First to a 4-step unit, then to a 2 or 3-step unit, and then if none, then a 1-step. Oh, okay, yeah. So if there's more than one choice, then it's the hex with the most total steps. Then the higher selector number, finally you choose. I'm going to assume, because there was more than one choice, right? So then it says go to this hex here, and then it says higher selector number. So I'm going to say the higher selector number is going to be between these two. Since this guy only has 1 step, it's between these two. So actually the tank takes the hit. And there it be. So our armor held up strong. They had no business moving on with that attack. That's the kind of attack I would have done. So anyways, that was their impulse. So now it's to us, and we get to go. Okay, so I want to do something about the middle here. I got an issue here, as you can see, and then of course Bastogne has only 1 single holdout. So there's a couple choices here. I have 2 cards that are both from the 5th Corps. Those are way up north. This one is the 12th Corps, which is down here. And bear with me again. I think there's something wrong with Sorry about that. It's looking blurry when I look into the camera. Okay, so the only card I even have that helps me with the middle is this one. And you can see here, I can assign reinforcement points, but only on December 20th. I can deploy all core reserves, which are a none. See, that's the thing. I want to deploy some core reserves, but I don't have this particular card for these units. So all I would be doing is activating the units, or I would raise the alarm. Raise the alarm lets me move a unit, and it also lets me deploy a unit that is not, you know, that any unit I want. It would just be one unit though, not all of them. Unfortunately, the raise the alarm it does give me movement, but it doesn't let me ignore zone of control. And my issue is I have some surrounded units. So I would like to implement, you know, some zone of control stuff here, but okay. So I as much as I like this card, I'm not sure what to do with it. There are no reserves. Just to give you a quick reminder, we have reserves for the 12th. We have a whole bunch of reserves for this core, which is the card I want, but I don't have. And then I got 2 reserves for the 5th core, which I actually have several cards for that one. We could do the 5th core, because if the yellow division up there, the 1st Panzer, if they were to activate, that would actually cause a lot of chaos for us. One of the 5th core cards I have is just specific divisions. So, you know, I can only use it to activate one particular division, or I can just use it as a tank battalion, which I might do. So, I'm leaning towards, so let me refresh myself on the engineer event. So the engineer would allow me to place roadblock markers and a non-clear road hex in Allied supply not adjacent to a German unit. So I can put roadblock markers down, but it would have to be in a way that is further down the road from where they currently are. I can blow a bridge, which I'm not super excited about, or I can place an improved position. So what does a roadblock do? It says go to section 10.8. I mean, we know what roadblocks do from the German campaign, but that doesn't mean it's the same thing here. I remember reading about it, but I don't remember it at all since my break. 10.8. A German unit may not enter a hex with a roadblock marker at any time. They must stop moving or advancing upon entering a hex that's adjacent. At the start of a German activation, the roadblock, if it's next to a German unit, is removed, or if there's unable to trace supply. Okay, so the roadblock isn't like a special way to get reinforcements onto the map like it would have been, you know, when we played the German solo game. Roadblock markers are a way for reinforcements to enter the game. That's not the case for us. For us, it's just simply slowing down the Germans. There's some key things that a roadblock might help with. My first thought is obviously these guys going this way towards Bastogne. If you back up the camera here, you can see it's a wide open road. So like a roadblock here would be pretty handy, right? Because it would force these tanks to have to go through broken and rough terrain. That's actually a bigger deal. The other place that a roadblock might be handy is preventing them from getting to the VDH, the Vonderheit. I like it, but I don't like it this impulse. Like, we don't need to do it now. So the question becomes 5th Corps or 12th, and I'm going to do the 12th. We're going to deploy our reserves. And so I'll play that card and get our reserves out because we are in a bit of a pickle down here. And let me position this so you can see the area. And our reserve units, we have a whole bunch. We actually have 3 of them. So let me put them here so you can see. And I think the card says deploy all reserves. It does. So we're going to get to deploy 3 of them. That's the reason why I like this command. Now there's one of the player aids actually explains how to do deployments. And here it is. So it's going to be within your core area. And remember, on the left side of the map, we still have the squiggly lines. We have to follow the squiggly lines. So the 12th core is this lower squiggly line here. So that's a big area for us. And so it has to be on a road hex. It has to be 3 hexes away from a German. That's non-isolated. And within 3 hexes of a unit in the same division. Okay. So for example, this one is 4th division, and that's the 4th division. So I have 2 of these that need to be within 3 hexes of this, but I deploy them one at a time. Okay, so for example, I can put this one 3 hexes away, and then this one could be 3 hexes away of that one, so I could string them along if I needed to. This one is in the 10th armor, which is not yet on the board. So now, mind you, I have to be 3 hexes away from these guys too, which have moved in pretty far. So, for example, this town, which is their objective, is not something I can reinforce because of this. So I could try to reinforce this town, except it's not, well, it is. Actually, it is 3 spaces away from them. And this town is a doable option. I don't know how much, but I have to also be 3 spaces away from this. So this guy, for example, has to go there. Because that's 1, 2, 3 away from them, and 1, 2, 3 away from them, and it's also 1, 2, 3 from him. So you see how that works? It would have been nice if I could just reinforce them right on top of the spot, but that's not what the rules allow me to do. It says reserve units in the same division entering in the same impulse must be placed in the same hex. So actually this guy has to go on top. I can't string it along like I told you I could. All right, so then the next one, this guy, since he has no division, it has to be within 3 hexes of a unit in the same core, which would be these guys, right? So now I can string this one along if I wanted. So I can go 1, 2, 3, for example, but it has to be on a road. 1, 2, 3. So I can put it like there or there, and it's the idea is that it can help reinforce this armor here, which of course is being pounded by them. Or I really could just put it here and have all 3 sets of units here to make the 80th Army there from the Germans have a miserable day. I'm not necessarily sure which is the best option, but I'm leaning towards this, largely because if I have reinforcements for this core, I want it to go up near Bastogne because we have a bulge, to deal with. So by having this guy here, he could maybe help him out, and then these 2 can help him out. And that's the idea. So anyways, that's our turn. We deploy our units and that's it. So we have 4 cards in our hand, and our hand limit size this turn is 5. So here's our next one, and we got, this is a really nice one. That's what we were looking for. This is the core that we were looking for the last turn. So we have it now, and we could deploy all their reserves and get some armor out to help with the bulge up there. So that's a really good card, and let's move on to their turn. Okay, they get 2 cards. They're both primary. So then the next thing we check, they both have a 2. So then we pick whoever has the lowest number, it's this one. So this guy is the command, and this one is the support. So the support is, there's no event on there, so he's just going to be a support card. We're going to activate LX, so that's what, 50, 60, 67th core. So we're going to activate these guys up here. I am pretty certain they're not moving, largely because they can't move due to zone of control. So we're just going to jump straight to combat check. And here's why. They are currently sitting on their objective. Okay, their objective is right here. They're sitting on it. If they were to move, they would cause surround to stop happening. And the rules are explicit that they're going to maintain surround. So they're needed for surround. The only thing that's going to happen is we're going to check to see if they're going to actually attack. This guy is probably not going to attack. He's got a strength of 2, and he's going up against a 3. Not going to happen. That's less than 1-to-1 odds. So, but this one might happen. It has 5 plus 4 is 9, but it's going across a river to 3. So 4.5 to 3 is just slightly better than 1-to-1. And so let's look at the chart. Yeah, so now we're going to roll the die and do all that stuff. So we're going to roll. And I rolled a 1. Oh my gosh. I think he's going to attack. Okay, so that 1 gets actually reduced to a 0. Here, let me show you real quick. Well, let's recalculate this. We said it was 9 to 3. So maybe I rushed it a bit too much. 9 to 3 is, but the 9 gets cut in half, so it's really 4.5 to 3, which is just better than 1-to-1. However, my 3 is in a forest. See that? So I get to add +1 because I'm in a forest. So it's actually 4.5 to 4, which is still better than 1-to-1. Not a lot better, but it's right at 1-to-1. It's also an improved position, so it adds another 1. So that, I think, is what seals the deal that there won't be an attack. So right there, he's got an improved position, but he is low on ammo. But the low on ammo doesn't seem to, let me check. Does low ammo do, or low supply, I mean, if in combat, no combat tactic can be played. Okay. So the attack won't happen because it'll be less than 1-to-1 odds. And just to repeat it, this attack got reduced in half because of the river. And then this one was improved by 1 because of the forest, and improved by another 1 because of the improved position. So this guy had a situational strength of 5. And then this one had a 9 that was cut in half to 4.5. So that's less than 1-to-1 odds. There would have been no die roll in this case. So it's basically done. Just gonna check it one more time. Yeah, so there's nothing to change that outcome. Okay, so the Germans aren't going to attack. They're just going to do nothing with that one. So this card goes away. Now, this card, since it wasn't used for support, they're going to activate. So now we're going to activate all the units in this core. So that's actually going to be an interesting one. I'm pretty sure movement-wise, nothing's going to happen because this guy's adjacent to a unit. And remember, when they're adjacent, they won't... if this is the only unit that's adjacent, he won't give up his spot. These two, there's going to be no infiltration move because this guy's got a bracket. So with the bracket, the guy underneath can't infiltrate down to create surround, and neither of them are going to move away. because that's away from their objective. So they're basically going to stay where they are. Now, they might attack though. So here we go. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 to 2. That's 4 to 1 odds. And let's make sure we add our bonuses here, if there are any. There really aren't. 4 to 1 is an automatic attack. So let's figure out how many chits they're going to do. Well, first thing they're going to do is draw a card. They have no support card, but they will get combat engineers. Okay, so that's one tactic. Let's figure out what combat engineers does for them. I think it just removes, it's going to add 1 to their strength. It removes an improvement position if there was one. And we're not allowed to play one, but we're not playing one anyway. So I'm not playing any cards. I'm going to let the, well, actually I might do Tank Battalion. When is it too late? I got to make sure the order matters. Do I get to see their, yeah, the Germans draw their card first, and then we play the Allied combat tactic. At our option. I'm actually going to play a card here, and I have this divisional card, which is pretty useless to play as a command card. So we're going to play it for Tank Battalion. So I almost mistakenly put it into the German pile. I hope I didn't do that some other time. But Tank Battalion for us, it adds 1 to our combat strength, and it fills a requirement for armor. So we are now a combined infantry, combined arms, because we have armor now. So that's going to help us with the potential chits that they're going to draw. So they get +1, we get +1, okay? To the combat strength. I don't know, how does that matter now? Oh yeah, it does matter. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and then they're going to go up +1 to 9, and then we're going to go up +1 to 3. So 9 to 3 means they're at 3 to 1 odds now. Now, they've already committed to the attack. That's not going to change whether or not they attack. What it changes is the outcome of these chits, right? They're 3 to 1 now instead of 4 to 1. They went up +1, but so did we. And obviously, with the way the math works, that benefited us way more than it benefited them. Okay, so how many chits are they going to draw? Well, there's 1, and then this is 2, because this has 4 pips on it. Let me see if I can zoom in for you here. This is 1 + 1, that's 2, because of the 4 pips. And then nothing for this, and then 3 for that, and then 4 for the combat engineers, because they had a tactic. So they're going to draw 4 chits, basically. All right, so let's see how this plays out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. Are they less than 3 to 1? No, they're exactly 3 to 1, but they're not greater than 8, so that's out. Are we in forest, woods, or broken? We're in broken, so it's a D-1. That's really good for us. And this is the kind of crap that happened when I used to attack this. So I'm telling you, if you ever play the Germans, you need to not do this nonsense where you surround them this way. You have to at least get 1 unit sneaking in here and then cross the river. That's the trick. Okay, less than 4 to 1, yes, but the other side's the priority. Nope. Defender is green. That is not the case. Is the defender elite? No. All right, so we canceled this hit, or we would have canceled a hit if we had one. The town would have canceled another hit. We were in great shape. They actually take a hit, and per the rules, they automatically get one, and the 4-strength unit always is the first to take it. So that was an easy one to figure out who takes the hit. So I'm having a lighting issue, so let me, give me a second. I'm going to just go flip on another light. Okay, so probably not the best turn in the world for the Germans, but they did activate 2 wimpy divisions there. I need to get ready because eventually these guys are coming, and so are the 1st Panzer. So I think, therefore I am, but on top of that, I still want to do this, but I'm going to do this. We're going to get the airborne corps out, and we're going to deploy. I know there's a lot of really cool events and stuff here, but we're going to deploy, and let me get my card discarded properly. So the way we're going to deploy is, you can see it. We have these 3 units right here. So I'm just going to lay them down here. Maybe you can see those. Now, they can go anywhere north of this squiggly line right here. Okay? And it's the same rules as before. Has to be 3 spaces away from a German unit, all that jazz. But there's 3 armored units here, and I want to get these out because we definitely need to defend something. These are all the 7th Armor. There are no 7th Armor on the board right now. So it just has to be within 3 spaces of a core unit. And so I have a victory point spot here. So I'm going to put all 3 of them on the victory point spot. And they have to all go together, because remember, when they're all from the same division, they have to deploy together. So I can't spread them out. But I'm okay with that, because the next time I activate those guys, I can maybe bring those tanks in. And this one in particular is very juicy, because he's swung all the way around, and we can actually surround him with the right move. But I can maybe get these guys bailed out. Okay, so that was our move. We did play 2 cards, so now we're going to draw 2. And here's the thing I want to point out. I'm drawing these 2 cards. There's only 1 card left in the draw pile. The Allies, when you play the Allied game, you don't have a lot of cards in the beginning. And the German deck is super thick. And I get it. It's thematic. The Germans had the element of surprise. The Allies took a few days to get reactive. And it definitely, you feel it as a player. Thematically, I am feeling that was captured very well by this game. I totally appreciate that. So here's the 2 cards. We got another 8th Corps, and then of course 1 that might be used just as tactic. And that's going to be added. And you can see we already have another 8th Corps here. So we got 2 8th Corps cards, and really not a lot to do with the 8th Corps, unfortunately, because there's not a lot of places, or there's no reserves or anything out there. But anyways, that brings us to the German turn. All right, we're going to draw 2 cards. And neither of them are primary, so they both have a command value of 1. So the one on bottom has the lowest number. So he's going to be our command card. We're going to check this one for events. There are no events, so he's just going to be a support card. And this one is, he's going to activate the 1st SSP and the 12th SSP divisions from the 1st SS Panzer Corps. So we got to figure out who the heck those people are. So hopefully you can see there. 1st SSP. So it's saying that there's 3 in each, the 1st and the 12th. Oh, here's the 12th. All 3 of them are in a stack. And then the 1st is 1, 2, 2 of them are here. Where's the 3rd one? The 3rd one might not be out yet. I don't see him. so the third one could be in the reserves and just doesn't come out until later. I'm looking at the German reserves just to try to figure out if he's in here somewhere. Because it would be nice to identify where that third one is. Thing is, I don't see him in the German reserves either. So let's go back. This is 12th, 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 501, 12 VG, 506, 27, see first SS, and then the 150. What about the Piper? Oh, here he is. The Piper's the third one. Okay, so Piper is the first SS. I didn't realize that. Okay, so they're both activating, and this is interesting. We're gonna have to do move. These guys are causing surround. What's interesting is I don't know if this one of these might want to break away, because you don't need both of them for surround. You just need one. So let's go through the move a little slower and not try to rush through it, because I don't think I can. I think mentally, here's my guess that's going to happen. These guys aren't going to move. These guys aren't going to move. And then these three will move up to this town because it's adjacent to here, and they will try to attack that. Now the question is that I think these guys are going to, one of them's going to move up, and the other two are going to try to surround. That's what I think is going to happen. But let's see how this plays out. Oh, okay. Nobody can exit the map or move adjacent to the muse. Oh, actually, I take it back. These guys aren't even active, so they're not moving at all. All right. Can they move to a hex closer to a unit's army objective and adjacent to allied VP hex? The answer is yes. This is their objective. Their objective is here, and you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 away. And if they move to here, that's 1, 2, 3 away from the objective. And it would be adjacent to an allied VP hex, which is this one. So these guys, as a top priority, all three of them, well actually the third one's not active. These two would for sure move up, and they're gonna go into that town, and they take this yes fuel marker, and I'm just gonna put it over here to show that they have it. So, so those two are done, and like I said, the other guys aren't moving. So, because those other guys are already next to a unit, they could possibly try to infiltrate, but the infiltrate rules don't, it's only gonna work if it allows them to move a hex closer to the army objective. Oh, mechanized units may not infiltrate. Oh, they may not infiltrate across river into forest. Okay, well this is a forest here, so if they were gonna infiltrate, they would have infiltrated that way, and that's not going to happen. Okay, so no infiltration for them. They are next to an allied unit, and so therefore they're going to stay next to the allied unit. Okay, so now let's figure out if they're going to attack. The problem is it's only the active units. So here you have 5 plus 5 is 10, but it's versus a 6. So it is a 1-to-1, but it's greater than or equal to 1-to-1. That the units of 6, they are in a broken terrain, so they get no bonuses. So we are going to roll a die to see if they're going to attack those elite units. That's crazy, but that's what they're going to do. So we rolled an 8. So they would cancel if it's less than 3-to-1, according to the chart here. So the 8 there is cancel less than 3-to-1. However, The attackers include an elite unit, and a defender does have elite, so that's not happening. There's no army group card. Supporting card does show an applicable combat tactic, so that 8 becomes a 7. So see how this says subtract 1. So we go to 7, and it still says that if it's less than 3 to 1, or attacking from 1 hex, they're going to cancel, and they are attacking from 1 hex, and it's less than 3 to 1. Okay, so no attack from those units. But now we're going to look at the other 3. Here you have 4, 8, 13 against 5. So that's 2 to 1 odds, okay? However, the 5 is in forest, so we're going to add a +1, so that becomes 6. That's still 2 to 1 odds, okay? So we're going to roll a die. We rolled a 6. So now, unfortunately, there's no elite units in this one. Otherwise, that one would have triggered. The combat tactic is applicable, so that 6 becomes a 5. If there's less than 2 to 1, or only the defender is elite, it's going to break off. We said it was 13 to 6. It is greater than 2 to 1, or equal to 2 to 1, if you want to call it that. Equal to 2 to 1 is not less than. So if you're equal to 2 to 1, this doesn't trigger. They are attacking. So, so now we go to real odds. We don't do situational strength anymore. So the real odds are back to 5, 9, 13 to 6. However, the tactic is reinforced battle, which is a very powerful one for them. That's actually going to be what's going to give them the edge in this attack. So let's look up reinforced battle, because there's any number of units here that can reinforce, so let's figure out which one is going to do the job. I think it's going to just be the ones that are already next to it, but let's find out. Select an active or inactive stack that did not move or attack in the current activation, that could reach the combat in a single movement action to participate. If the Germans are attacking, a unit is eligible if it's in the same army as at least one attacking unit. If more than one stack can reach, choose the one that will not be attacking across a river. Then the stack that will cause an unsurrounded surrender, a surrounded defender to become surrounded. Well, they're already surrounded, so no worries there. Then the stack with the lowest numbered unit. Units that reinforce a German attack do not advance. So that's interesting. You would think that you would choose the stack that had the highest strength. But that's not the rule here. Let me show you this. So if more than one stack can reach the combat, choose a stack that will not be attacking across a river. Well, that's all of them. Then the stack that will cause an unsurrounded defender to become surrounded. Well, it's already surrounded. Then the stack with the lowest numbered unit. Units that reinforce a German attack. So you notice there that there was nothing about strength. You would think that you would pick the ones that would have added the most strength to the attack. But it says lowest numbered unit. So even though these units are next to it, they may not have the lowest number. So let's look at it here. This guy is low. Oh, he has a 1. Never mind. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh. No, he wouldn't. He's part of the attack. This guy is part of the attack. So that's a 6 plus everything else. So anyways, my apologies there. Let me flip him around, put him on top. He's part of the attack. So their odds are even better. And the reinforcement could be this guy. That's a 9. This is a 34, a 32. This is a 10, 36, and a 15, 11, 27. Yeah, actually the one that's going to reinforce is the unit that's with him. So that unit will be the reinforcement. Okay, so 6, 9, 13, 17, and 5 is 22 to 3. That's 7 to 1 odds. Or no, I'm sorry, 6. 3 for 5. That's 4 to 1 odds. Slightly better than 4 to 1. Okay, how many chits are they going to draw? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for elite, 6 for 3 pips, 7. So 7, and then one more because of this. It's 8. And then we're going to have to draw a card. There's another reinforced battle for 9. Can you have more than one reinforced battle? I think you can. So that means this unit with a 10 would join by going to here. So that means 10 chits are being drawn. Did I get that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for being elite, 6, 7 for 3, 8, and then 9, 10 for the 2 combat tactics. And this might even be better than 7 to 1 now. 4, 8, 5 is 13, 15, and 6 is 21, 24. Oh, they're just 1 away from having enough to make it 8 to 1. So, oh, hold on. I just said 24 to 5. That's only 4 to 1. What am I smoking? Where did I get 7 to 1 from? Anyways, 4 to 1, almost 5 to 1, but they're drawing 10 chits. Sorry about that. I'm very tired today, and apparently my math is not quite as sharp as it usually is. Okay, drawing 10. Oh, sorry for the bump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, Allied air power, no. Is it a large attack? Heck yes it is. Defender artillery or Allied artillery, neither of them have artillery. By the way, we didn't play a card, as you may have noticed. Although I did have a card. I could have played actually an artillery card, but it's too late. I already saw the result. But I did have a divisional card that... Okay, is only the attacker combined arms? And the answer is yes. We only have infantry in that spot. Only the attacker armor... Yes. Oh, we're in trouble here. Greater than 7 to 1. Nope. Greater than 4 to 1. Yes. Greater than 2 to 1. Yes. Are we broken or clear? We're actually woods. City or forest. Oh my gosh, because we're woods, nothing happened. Less than 4 to 1. Greater than 4 to 1. Here we go. Woods and broken. Or city and forest. So we're woods. Less than 1 to 1. Greater than 1 to 1. Like that. Okay, well, we cancel 1 because we're in a town. Are we in a town? Yes, we are in a town. Cancel 1 because we're in a town, and then this one cancels 1. But there's a lot of hits on us. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. 2 of them are going to be for us retreating. 1, 2. And then 2 of them are going to be step losses. So we're going to retreat twice. And unfortunately, they have zone of control everywhere. So I think we can retreat onto here and not have to take a step loss. Let me make sure. Yeah. So there's no step loss there. And then we do another retreat and we'll go here, and then both of them are going to take a hit. So, and then they're disrupted. Like so. Okay, so that's us. And then they're taking 2 hits. So the first hit is guaranteed on them. It's going to be whichever one has the most steps. So this is 5. This is 6. So it's going to be one of these. Whoever has the highest number, it'll be this tank here. And then for the second hit, we have to do some math. If it's a one-step unit, disperse, otherwise roll die. If the die is less than or equal to the HV value of the attacked hex. Yeah, we gotta roll a die. Where is it? Here we go. Rolled a 6. The HV value of that hex is 4, so it's not less than that. Or if it's less than the steps in the attacking units, apply a step loss, it says. Interesting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So another loss is coming. So again, we have a tie. We have 2, 4, 5 here, and 2 or 3, 4, 5 there. So we don't know which hex. There's 2 hexes that are tied. So then we apply it to whoever has the lowest number, which is, or is it lowest number or highest number? Hold on, I'm sorry. So every stack has to get a step loss before another stack may get one. And so, so that stack that took the first hit can't be the stack that takes the second. So it's going to be Piper's stack. First it goes to a 4-step unit, then for the highest number. I apologize, I just did this correctly before. So it's not going to be Piper, it's going to be the one with Piper. So this guy takes the hit. So then everybody gets to advance. And in what order do we do the advance? Because there's not enough space for everybody to advance. It is going to be from lowest to highest. So Piper, for example, will be first. This is not his primary direction or his secondary direction. So it is to a town, but it's not, yeah, it's into a town, but it's not closer to the objective. So we have to roll, and on a 1 to a 7, he will advance. I rolled a 4, so Piper does advance to here. So then we go to the next highest one, which is this guy. There's a unit already there, but it is his primary direction. So on a 1 to a 6, he advances. He rolled a 10. So then we go to the next guy. It looked like a 9, but it was actually angled. It's an 8. He does not advance. Then we go to the 26 here. He rolled a 7. He does not advance. Oh my gosh. All 3 of those guys want to move forward, and they didn't. They do not advance. The bracketed ones don't advance. So, oh, this guy, he's a 10. He actually does not want to go in that direction. So this would be into a town, so only on a 1 to a 3 would he advance. I rolled a 9. So everybody else just stays put. Nobody advances other than Piper. Very interesting AI with that decision making on whether to advance or not. The table is confusing at first, but it's actually pretty slick now that you understand it. Okay, so they knocked us back. They beat us down quite a bit. We did say we wanted to activate the 5th core, and that whenever yellow activated, yellow was going to become a problem. And yellow was a problem, and what's interesting is it was only 2 divisions that were a problem, and they were quite a problem. So now it gets to us, and we do have multiple 8th core here, which maybe we could do for events. But remember, our events can only be for the A. These are G events, so these G events don't count. So raise the alarms, the only interesting one there. What I can do is just activate the 5th core and deploy the 2 units that are available to deploy. Or I can actually activate them to attack. Here's my problem. I can't attack anything. I just don't have the strength. The only thing it would accomplish is maybe put some improvement markers down, which actually is not a bad idea, and it would remove the disruption marker. Which better? We're deploying 2 units or getting some improvement positions down? I honestly don't know the answer to that. Here, let me show you the situation. So we would get an improvement position here and here. This one would remove the disruption marker. These 2 are already in towns, so they would not get improvement markers and they would not do anything unless I wanted to try to attack with them, which I don't think is a smart move. So I'm choosing between deploying 2 new units or improving the positions of these 2. Removing his disruption, I don't think adds that much value. This one's already bracketed, and that was from the setup situation, so he's already weak to begin with. I think, see, that's funny, is if I wait 2 turns, or 2 days, I can get these deployments for free, but that was fine when you're the Germans. It's not so fine when you're the Allies. I think when you're the Allies, we need to deploy right away. So I'm going to deploy. We're reacting to their attack, and let's get our deployments out there. And I'm just making sure, because I've been tempted to discard to the German discard pile the whole game. And I want to make sure I didn't actually do that mistakenly. Nope, the decks look great. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to deploy these 2 guys here. They are both one's with the 1st Division, one was the 9th Division. So remember, we have to be 3 spaces away from a German, 3 spaces away from our division. This is a 1st Division unit, okay? So 3 spaces away, 1, 2. I can put him right there on that objective. Malmedy, that's not a bad spot. Although that's a German unit. This is a German unit, so I don't know if I can go here. That actually creates a problem. Sneaky von der Heit. So the core has to be above this squiggly line, so I can't go 1 more down. Because of that von der Heit, my deployments are actually a problem. I need to read up on what my options are here. I forgot there's an alternative reserve deployment that I could do, but that's not helping me in this situation. You know, I wanted to deploy these guys, but that von der Heit's a problem. It says 3 hexes away from a non-isolated German unit. If I would have isolated von der Heit, then I would have been fine. Okay, so it says that it has to be within 3 spaces of something. Otherwise, I can do the Allied Reserve. So this is not going to work. 3 spaces from here doesn't work because of where he's located. He's basically caused all of the reserve units on these roads to be ineligible. So I can't deploy either of them unless I do the alternative reserve deployment, which means I have to be 5 hexes away. That makes this all of a sudden less attractive. Wow. Yeah, it has to be within 3 of the same army. And because of where von der Heide is, I cannot deploy either of these guys. So then I would have to do what's called the alternative reserve deployment, which means they have to be 5 hexes away from an enemy town, city, or unit. And 2 hexes away if I'm on a map edge. So, so for example, Verviers there, if I pronounced it correctly, is not even eligible because that's 1, 2, 3, 4 away. I would have to like start way back here. It's really crazy. However, if I'm willing to start on a map edge, I only have to be 2 spaces away. So what I'm going to do is this unit's going to go here on Eupen, and the other one I'm going to put on the map edge there, so that lets me get closer to von der Heide. That is wild. I think when I played this game, I put von der Heide like here a couple of times, and I thought that was super powerful because this cuts off the roads from supply, whereas this does not. He has no zone of control. But what it does is it prevents me from deploying my reserves. That's a really good spot for the AI to put it. I mean, I have to agree. It would be an awful spot, I think, for us if we were playing the Germans, but that's an interesting situation. Okay, well, we're done. We deployed our units a million miles away. I'm not sure how much that helped us. We do get to draw 1 card, and it's another divisional card. So it does have engineers, so we can maybe, you know, get a improvement marker if push comes to shove. So let's draw their 2 cards. Hey, you want it? I'm in an hour, so I'm gonna quit and I'll see you in 2 seconds. Stay awesome.